Click, scroll, back button, error. You know the feeling. You're inside a dashboard looking for a specific report, and every menu looks identical. A product can boast the most powerful back-end features on the market, but if those features are buried under confusing menus and scattered layouts, they might as well not exist. The invisible logic that prevents this digital chaos is called information architecture. It's the deliberate organization of content, navigation, and features so users instinctively know where they are and what to do next. Before a single screen is built, developers have to map out the foundational rules. They have to ask, what information does the user need first? Which actions belong together? And how will this layout accommodate growth over time? True digital structural integrity requires planning at every level, from the overarching macro system down to the placement of a micro button. When done correctly, users are empowered to act, rather than paralyzed by options. Every software ecosystem operates on a global structural logic. This macro view has to perfectly align with the specific work the product is designed to do. This document outlines 5 structures, starting with the hierarchical structure based on parent-child relationships. Organizations contain projects, which contain documents. Sliding down, we find the task-based structure. This organizes the ecosystem around sequential user actions: planning, building, reviewing, and deploying. This document section breaks down 3 alternative frameworks. A role-based structure serves different spaces depending on user type. A status-based structure groups items by progress stage. And an object-based structure organizes everything around main entities, like clients or active leads. Looking at this guideline for internal development tools, we see these macro structures in practice. A planning document might be structured hierarchically by project phases, while a developer's task manager relies on a status-based view of sprints and owners. Choosing the correct macro framework from the start dictates how intuitively a user can build a mental map of the entire system. Once that macro structure is set, users need a way to move through it. This brings us to the mid-level layer of wayfinding, the sidebars, tabs, and breadcrumbs. Effective navigation must answer 4 psychological questions. Where am I? Where can I go? What actions are available right now? And what belongs to this context? This documentation shows a hidden parameter altering those pathways: permissions. User identity dictates what they can see, edit, or approve. Notice the stark warning below: you cannot rely on front-end hiding. True architecture requires back-end enforcement of those permission barriers. Visible navigation and invisible permissions act as the dual traffic controllers of a product. Together, they ensure users only interact with information relevant and safe for their role. Zooming in even closer, we hit the micro layer, the granular layout of a single screen or task detail page. At this scale, there is a golden rule. If every single piece of information on the screen looks equally important, the user's brain will freeze trying to sort it out. This list establishes a strict 7-step visual hierarchy to solve that. A page should flow naturally from the title and a short summary, down through the primary action buttons, key information, and finally the secondary actions. And when dealing with massive data reports, this page advises using progressive disclosure. You show the high-level severity summary first and keep the raw technical details hidden until the user explicitly clicks to expand them. Even when using AI agents to generate layouts, this section highlights that they require strict context. Without clearly defined user roles, workflows, and navigation roles, an agent will default to generic, unhelpful page structures. Enforcing a strict page hierarchy and actively hiding secondary details prevents cognitive overload right at the exact moment the user needs to execute an action. When the architecture is right, the friction disappears. A user drops into the application, their cursor moves directly to the target, and task completed. This list of common developer mistakes highlights what threatens that experience. Traps like letting database tables dictate navigation or scattering context across disconnected screens. Furthermore, proper structure means planning for future growth, rather than bolting on pages haphazardly. Information architecture is the structural integrity of the software. To build a product that actually clarifies work, developers have to map out the logic long before they build the screens.